G'day, how you going? Welcome to my video. I'm Ianapolis, your acrylic guru from Australia, and I've got an MDF panel board up here I've made today, and I want to put like a moon, ocean scene, a lot of values, a bit of reef in the water, some wet sand retracting. I want to do a few elements in this tutorial today, so it's something you can learn quite a few different things from, okay? So I'll get the size of the canvas panel I'm using up there in inches and centimetres, and also we'll get the colours coming up the screen as well, that way you'll know what colours we're going to use. Alright, yeah, so I've just made an MDF board, cut it out. It's only about 1 or 2 mil thick, and I've gessoed it a few times, and it's going to be quite a good quality. Look at that, I've just touched it with the paint there, but anyway. So first I want to start the top bit, and then we'll come down to the bottom bit, okay? So watch this tutorial if you want to paint along with it and learn what the do's and don'ts will be about it as well, okay? Now I've gone and scribbled on there pretty much a layout what I want. I've got the horizon line above halfway, so I've got more bottom area to bring some sand, wet sand retracting back, and different values of the water, and I want to add some darker reef shadows in there as well, and just a good sky, and maybe a moon there as well, or a sun, something like that. We'll see how we go for that. All right, so down on my palette, just prepping it up, I want to get my flowing white paint, just a soft white student paint. It's just something cheap, and I'm mixing some retarder in it just to get the sky area done so I can blend. Now let's see how this MDF board, it's the first time I'm painting on an MDF board, but I want to do quite a few. What's going on in there? I've got some lumps in that paint. That's very weird. Okay, so I've got the white paint on there. Okay, I haven't even cleaned that. I want to pick up some of the phthalo blue, and I want it light at the top. No, sorry, dark at the top and light at the bottom. So we'll start at the top, just get it all the way across, get it on the edge there, and then let it come down to the bottom of that horizon line so it'll pale up. First time, like I said, painting on an MDF board, so I'm learning as I go. Now I feel I want some more white in there because that's quite dark. I don't want the blue that dark. So I'm picking up some more of that flow paint, getting at the bottom here, and I want to bring that up to the blue. Now the MDF board doesn't have teeth on it like a canvas, so I'm trying to make sure I don't get big brush strokes everywhere. Now I want to massage that down to the bottom, and that's pretty much the blue sky I'm looking for. Beautiful. And that surface is ready to put a few clouds on there as well. Now I do want a bit of a horizon colour, so I've got my grey out of a tube, and I'm just gradually, well, see, I just put a very little bit of magenta in there. I'm using quinacridone magenta here, but I just want that purple haze. Let's see if you add some white with that, just for the horizon colour there. Okay, so my horizon line's about here, so I want to get this, brush it in there like that, and then start bringing it up. I'm just using that little filbert brush. Let's go again, some more, just mainly out here because I'm going to have some headland out there, and it'll probably cover that side of the horizon line over. Okay, we've got a bit of a dirty horizon line polluted area. It's just what I like to call it. Now I want to pick up some titanium white out of the tube, and I've also got some mid-tone grey there again, just in case I need some shadow colours. We'll get a nice sky going, so I want something up here. Now I want to blend that before I go too far, because I have a funny feeling this board might dry quicker than a canvas. Oh no, it's not too bad. So I want to get some just sweeping, something different up into the sky there. I'm using a blending brush and tapping it. That surface there, as you know, is retarded, so it's going to allow all this blending to happen. So I want something just like this in the sky. Make these shapes as any shape you want. Practice these shapes. Okay, check out the link in the description below. There's one for my art group page, Ianapolis Art Network. A lot of people are joining on there. It's a great place to meet and mingle and communicate. And we'll get some more, probably just over here. Actually, I'm liking the way this MDF is blending. It's first, like I said, it's the first time I've blended on it, but it's yeah, I quite like it. I'm going to be doing a lot of detail paintings on MDF later on. Alright, so there's our Australis cloud in the sky. Now we'll see if we can put a moon there. I'm looking for a soft brush. I'm just going to try my little blending brush, and I'm going to just pick up some of that because I don't have a pouncer this small. This will be good if you had a pouncer. So I'm going to use this instead. Okay, bomb it on with some white paint, good titanium white. And if you want to add this, where can we go? How high can we go? Probably, we'll try it about here. So there it is there. Looks a bit stupid, doesn't it, eh? But nah. So I've got it on there, and I want to just bring it around and fade it out. Now, if you feel you're getting big blobs on the end of your fading out area, I'll intensify the middle up there a bit. Now, what you can do with this brush is wipe it. Wipe that build-up off. Okay. Okay, that's wiped off quite well. And then blend in a kind of way that edge out into oblivion there. Okay. And we've got some kind of light source in the sky, whether it's the moon, the sun. It's looking good, I'm liking it. And you can probably make the inside of it really nice and round then, so it's got a bit of a glare to it. But I'm trying to soften it and make it look lovely. I'm just getting my bigger blending brush, and these edges I'm pulling out into the blue and killing the edges there a bit more as well. Okay. Very windy outside. I don't know if I said that or not, but it's very windy out there. Now I would just like some cloud coming up over our head here. Okay, so back down on my palette. I've cleaned everything up, this brush, and I'm going to apply that to the canvas. Now I'm going to have a headland here, so I'll probably have this coming from about here and just dingly dangly coming up over our head, over like that, in front of that moon slash sun, whatever it is. There we go. Come over there. And then we can just blend that. Where are we? We're going to blend, I don't know, let's say the distance of it there, the bottom of it there. So we're going to put some shadow in this. So don't blend the bottom down because we're taking this up over our head. What's going to happen here, I feel, is, what, that blending brush, blending the edges into the middle a bit, and then the top, blend that up over the page. Okay, just like that. Oh yeah, this paint's getting a bit draggy now, so because I'm spending time talking, that's understandable, but if I was just on my own painting, I'd have enough time to blend this. So that allows that to come over our head. I just have another smaller fan brush. I find my fan brushes are good for my clouds, incorporating them onto the canvas. You might feel better with a round or a fill, but it's up to you. Now I'll go in here a bit first. I'll do a bit at a time because it is drying. So I've done that bit. This is just to put some shadow and depth in your cloud. Add the sense of realism. How's that colour looking? Yeah, that's all right. Not too bad. And we can dance some of that up into the white there, just so as we got shadow, leaving some of that faded white blue around it as well. Okay, so we're getting that kind of mix up into the cloud. Now it's probably, this type of cloud might need to be just white and fluffy, but I'm just doing this for the art's sake, you know, for the sake of the painting, having different values there and colours and vibrancy in there. And I want to just add the yumminess now. So I've cleaned my brush and I want to crack bits. Do a bit at a time. I have a smaller blending brush and I want to blend that yumminess down, but leaving the brightness of it. Okay, so it's sort of contrasting with the grey and the first colour white that you put on there. Okay, so we've done that and we're coming this way, just like that. I'm just doing a bit at a time here so you can see. We're not, yeah, this is just adding that yummy, I call it yumminess, but it's probably highlighting the actual edge of the shape. See what it's doing to the cloud there? And we'll come a bit with some more paint, and we'll probably come a bit there, and some of it stinking around in here with some beautiful yumminess. Okay, it looks a bit silly when it's done like that, but you want to sit it down, like I've said in previous videos if you follow my work, but don't kill all the brightness. It's important that this yumminess contains its brightness and doesn't get blended away within the other colours of the cloud there, okay? And that's just overhead, yummy looking cloud, full of bullshit. So I've blow dried this with the hairdryer. Now my horizon line's there. I've got the turquoise. Now I've just added some phthalo blue in it, so I've got a darker value of the turquoise, and I've got the value of the turquoise itself, and I've lined it with some white and some white again, so we can get our different colours of the water up there. Now I've got a flat brush and I'm just dampening water a bit. I'll start with the darker value way up to the horizon line there, which is about, where are we? I'm just gonna, there. Oh, actually I've got a stick, I can use that. So where's my horizon line? I can use my stick for this. So we got, just rest my paint on brush on the stick, and then draw it in there, just like that. Now I'm not worried. There we go. We've got the horizon line. Didn't need to tape it on. Don't want it that blurry. You don't want the horizon line on a distance too sharp. So I'm going to keep it a little bit, you know, blurry. Not blurry, but just not so sharp if I can help it. There we go. So I'll pick up some more of that blue now, and I want to just get this a bit dark out there, because I'm going to have some land here. I know I'm going to have land there. So now I'm going to try and blur that edge up there just with this brush. That's good enough. Now I'm going to pick up the darker turquoise on my brush, both sides. I'm going to paint it all in though, so I'm not going to have land there, and I want to get this. Okay, now I'm experimenting with this, first time I've painted on this MDF board, so I'm going to have to wet my brush just a little bit. That's it, just so we get some movement and transferring of the paint off the brush onto the board there. So I'll pick up some more of that. And I want to blend these two, merge them together like that. I'm just using this soft flat brush. Full strokes across there like that. Then we can start lighting it up. So we're coming to this value here that we've mixed, where we've added some white into it, and we want to bring this down. So we're coming, if anything, I'm coming down lighter And if I feel the dark is a little bit too dark, I can always bring some of this just like that over it. Okay, just so long as I've got some dark out on the very horizon line. And I want to get this down here. I'm going to wet the brush again because it's, there we go, I want transferring to happen a lot better. Full stroke out of it. Now we'll pick up the lighter value that we've mixed and we're going to match that in there. Wet the brush a bit more so it's going to transfer all there. Look at that. Beautiful. And we've got some value of the ocean tropical colours coming along here. And then we'll bring the sand. I want to show you how to marry the sand into the ocean and then how we can get some reef under the ocean there. Some of that ocean's a bit on the dark side. We've got to lighten it up a bit. I want to stroke that all the way across still. Okay, I want some sort of lighter values out here. Scrumble that into there. Now I want to stroke those stop-start points of the brush off it. There we go. And where else can we use? Now this here, I pretty much want the foreground a lot lighter than that. So I want to get that in. I'll wet the brush a little bit more, not too much. This is an interactive paint I've got, so when I wet it, it unlocks it and allows it to move a lot more. But for you beginners, don't feel I've got to get an interactive paint. It's just the paint I'm using. It's a good quality paint though. And the quality of the paints make a difference to your work as well. See, now I've got the dark shadows of light and dark here. And we want to put some values of reef under this water. Okay. So let me just, oh, there we go. But before I do that, I want to get some of the flowing white mixed with the raw sienna dark to get my sand colour. I want it very light. I don't want it too dark. That's too dark. I need more white in it. I might add a bit of the titanium out of the tube because it's got more body with it. And it's not as opaque as the, there we go, look at that do a difference. It's not as opaque as the flowing white paint there. So this corner here, oh, it looks pretty much like a flesh colour. I tell you what, that's a good flesh colour. But that's the colour I want my sand to be. Now bring it to your water there, right? At least get it on there. Now scrumble, add and scrumble this sand under your water there. Wipe your brush if you have to. There, I've just wiped that onto the paper towel. And scrumble that into the water, right? Try not to get big ugly brush marks here and there. The better you do this and practice and stuff, the better it'll look. But we're just getting this. This is going to create the very shallow water and the water sitting on top of the sand. Some people have messaged me and said, I've never known how to do it. Well, this is how you do it. We've got that scrumbled into the watercolour there, okay? Just like that. And it's up to you how pedantic you get with it. Now see these dark colours here? We want to pick up some of that. Let's get some of there and some of here. Some of the really dark turquoise. And look roughly where you might want some reef or something. You just do this. If anything, this is coming around on a slight arch, so I want it in that direction. See, I want to have some, because where the reef is in the water, that's where waves flap and slap as well. So we're putting that in there. Just sort of soften the edges. Okay. Soften the edges like that. So we've got some reef there, and that's all it is, just getting some darker values within there. Oh, excuse me. We'll probably, get some more over here a bit darker. So just do this, don't overdo it, but this is your reefy bits under the water, okay? Maybe some here just coming off the painting. It's up to you how much you have, but try and learn with subjects that you're doing when enough is enough, okay? And make sure as well you've gone and taken the time to put your bloody kettle on as well, because nothing worse than getting involved in your art and you haven't got the cuppa going. But you can see what just the darker values do, and that's just your reef there, okay? You don't want it right up to the shore here. Now we'll put the water surface on there, okay, which is very easy. And back down here, I've got the white, and I want to see our sand colour. I want to get it a bit more darker, so let's start adding some more of the raw sienna in there. Well, that did nothing. Okay, so we'll bring a bit more. We want a darker value of this now, just something noticeable. There we go. Now, as water's hit the sand and it retracts back, it leaves a damp patch. So that's what we're going to put in now. So just work out where you want your damp patch. I don't want too much paint on the brush. I probably want to go, let's say about here. And I want to keep this horizontal with the painting, these strokes. So I'm going to come across and do a band just like this, keeping it in perspective on the dark and lighter area. There we go, just like that. And then wipe your brush, wipe it. And this back side, really scrumble that in. Now, if you're using an interactive paint like I am, try not to have your brush too wet, otherwise you start unlocking everything. I've got to be very careful here. But yeah, we're just pushing that back into the water like that. That's if you want a shadow line. If you think, I don't want to go to that much detail just yet, Ian, fine, don't put this in. Just start putting the water surface in, is what I'm going to do right after this here. So hang with me a minute. So for putting the surface, I'm using a flat brush. Now you might want different sizes. See how we go for bigger areas and smaller areas. And titanium white straight out of the tube. Now first, I'll just put something here just to indicate. No, I won't. Now we'll start, let's get out here. You want the breaking wave. So this is the breaking wave, just retracting back from the sand. So stamp it on, do a bit at a time. Okay, now just the top side of that, you want to scrumble back into the ocean, but on the brush strokes of the water, don't just go willy-nilly. Now that brush is very wet, it's unlocking the green under there, so I've got to dry it a bit more because I've used that brush earlier on, so I don't want to unlock all the other paints. Now, yeah, I want these strokes this way, not just all willy-nilly everywhere. So we're going to lace on our water. We want it, get up there you, we want it pretty much near the edge of that. So we'll just scrumble that back. You want a dry brush for this scrumbling. And you're teasing it, blending it backwards into the ocean, leaving the sand side solid. Okay, see how easy that was? And we're going to do that pretty much all the way down, right towards the edge here. Got to do a bit at a time though, because I don't want to get too hard to scrumble back. Okay. So this is just how you foam up the edge of the water, hitting the sand there. And let's go about here. And we'll get the bottom edge nice and tight. So like that. And then scrumble the top edge back into the ocean. And that's pretty much how you get your water lapping onto the shoreline there. Now we'll put some more kind of Oh, not too much there. I want it churning something here. See, just like that. And now just the top again, thin in the horizon area and coming wider back here. Just the top again, blend back into the ocean side. This is just, it's not a big wave here, it's just that flapping over motion you get in the ocean. Okay. And where else can we could probably put some bits out here. I'm doing all this before I put the landmass on. That way the landmass, I don't have to try and paint water around my landmass. The landmass can sit over it. Okay, see that we've got something out there, and I want something out here as well. So where are we? Probably just something lapping off that darker bit there, just like that. Just like that. Okay, see there? Now I'm putting the foam on here now. I'm coming back because a lot of that has been devalued with scrumbling. I want the foam there. Probably put some about here as well, coming right off the page here. Quickly scrumble that back into the ocean. Oh, I put too much there. This board is MDF board that I've primed with gesso, white gesso. So I might have to use this brush. Let's just see. It's very absorbing, obviously. So I'll use this to scrumble it back. Yeah, that's all right. So we've got bits of waves coming and going over the sand there. Now I'm just putting the odd bit of breaking water around near the reef here. I don't want to do it too patterny, and then we'll see if we can get some what do you call that, tropical glare on the water. So I just want to, let me see if this brush will work. I might need a round one, I'm feeling, but I'll just see how we go. I want to sort of create, there's not much paint on this brush. I want to try and create diamonds if I can. I'm just going to do this corner here first. I'll just see how we go with it. Yeah, that's looking all right. So I want to get a little round brush now, not this flat. You don't want it too airy-fairy soft. You want it, but I don't want a little hog bristle one either. So I want to put the paint on and pretty much wear it off. And I suppose you want to be loose with this. Try and, how can we do it? Yeah, just create those this way, that way, diamond-y shapes. Just sort of participating out, soft finishing about there. So if anything, we're getting, how's that looking? Yeah, that's looking all right. Load your brush up, wipe it off again. So you just want these like very pale. I'm trying not to think. Crisscross diamond shapes. I don't want them too, see how they're a bit loud? I will forgive those ones, but you don't want to have them too loud. You want to kind of, and over here we're sort of getting less and less. It's mainly in this corner here. So I better maybe put a bit more over here. That'll do it, I think. Okay, I've grabbed the dark colour that we had out here, and I'm just got it on a small liner brush, and we want to create very thinly here and there just the shadow of where our lapping water is hitting the sand, just so it doesn't look like it's floating out there. Okay, just like that. I'll just look in the monitor to see which sides I've got to do. Sometimes you don't have to do the whole lot. Just doing the bits where the shadow is required. I want to pull that forward onto the shore if I can. Let me see if it's going to work, or is it dried on me already because of this canvas panel? Yeah, too late. I want to, oh, it's working a little bit, but just like, I'm just pulling it forward. There we go, we'll give it some kind of a go. Just to get that dark withdrawing shadow under there. I've just picked up a dark colour on the brush. Which is actually burnt umber. And just put some stones on the shoreline here just to break it up a bit. Probably a nice bigger one there. They're not rocks, they're probably just bigger stones. If anything, keep the lower half of them reasonably straight, but the rest can be just, it's just that sort of a beach. Yeah, they break it up, don't they, eh? Now I've just got some of the titanium white on the flat brush, and like these diamond shapes that I put there, I'm now, what I've got on there, I'm going over it, and it's creating like, you know when I'm painting mist or fog, it's like doing that but putting more of a surface, I feel, on here instead of just those heavy brush strokes. So I'm just kind of softening them back, and to me it's softening the water as well. I'm just picking up the most dullest amount, and just so I can soften it back, sit it down onto, I'm sitting it down onto the surface, I feel, and if anything it's going narrower this way. So now what I want to do is we'll put some sort of a landmass just coming out a bit to give it that tropical moon type of beach reef subjecty thing going on in there, alright? Now I've got raw umber and I'm tinting it with some black. I've just got carbon black there, but I want a dark, really dark brown. There's something about up here where I've marked it with the pencil before. Now the bottom, it's important to keep these bottoms straight, and I'm going to come to the bottom there. I'll say about there. Alright, I want to come to about there. You might not see that just yet. And this, I want the land, I'm just going to jagger it in there so it's sort of like rocky, cliff facey stuff with grass on it. It's going to have trees there as well, but I want a lot of it open as well. And it's going out to there. And that's why I've wet the brush a bit, so all this will transfer from the brush onto the canvas a lot easier. See there? Now you can make this shape any way you want. Now it's not a lake, so you don't really want to make these a row of shrubs, because on the beach like this, if anything, they're all rocks. Okay, so we've just mapped in our head area there, and keep the bottoms reasonably straight, because water lays straight. You can have it staggered, but so long as they're straight with the water, okay? Now I've dried that, I've changed the shape a bit softer because I want that sort of green there, but this front bit I'll have rocks in front of it. So I've got my forest green there to block in my foliage, and I've got some cad yellow light as well. So roughly, I can go over that a little bit. I want, there we go, just like that. You can see this over the black. The black is pretty much my map where I want to go, just to about there, because I'm going to have rocks in front of it. So this actual headland that I'm doing now, I'm going to do the back section of it first and then bring it forward. You'll see what I mean when I'm doing it in layers. Okay, you saw the picture in the opening credits, so those of you who can remember what that looked like, you're getting an idea. And we're just, as it goes out to the edge, I'll probably finish about there. I want it just to finish as rocks out there. So out here. Now I want to get some of this with the cad yellow light and mix up the lawn. I want it quite brighter than that. I want that beautiful yellow-green lawn colour. Now I want to use a flat brush on its edge and just lace this to the bottom of what we've done up there and then detail the top of what we've done up there, okay? So here we go. Now everything's dry. I want to create some, let's get my stick there. So let's say about here. Come right across there and I'm creating lawn all the way across. Just like that. See how easy that was? I'll get rid of that bit there. So this is at the bottom of all that. Just like that. Now picking up the black, I've washed that brush, just the bottom where that's meeting the grass. We're going to put some kind of black, just so we've got a shadow. We can bring the detail of those headland trees that I put on there earlier with the forest green in front of all this, or hanging over it, you know what I mean? So we're putting that black value. What's that look like on the monitor? I could see it in real life, but I'm not quite sure that monitor's picking it up. Let's get a bit more black on there, because I want the bottom, like I said before, you need the bottom of any shrubs dark with shadow. And you need to dry each layer when you're doing these kind of shrubs, so you're not going to have any problems. Now picking up a lighter value of the green, like there's the forest green there, there's our lawn colour. We want it in between those, I suppose. And we want to bring this stuff to life now, bringing it up there where the light's hitting it, let it come down, and we want it to sit over that dark shadow now that we just put in the lawn. But I want this a different green than that lawn. I don't know if I've achieved it or not. It'll have to do. It will have to do. Leave some darker pockets there and just bring it down like that. Just roughly where our, coming, well, pretty much to our lawn area there. I do want it a bit darker than that. I'm finding that a little bit too contrasting with the lawn colour there. And now we're going to set that lawn back with the actual rocks within here. So to finish it off, I've got another flat brush, and we got the burnt umber in the, what was that one there that we ended up mixing up? The raw umber and the black. And we're going to make the rock colour again because I've run out. And I want a bit over here just with some grey mixed with it for the bottom area where the damp water's been hitting it. As this one is already out there, I could probably just easily put some damp watercolour at the bottom of that one. I've just done a singular island out here before. And where am I? I'm about here. I want the bottom pretty much where the water's been hitting it. This is the rocks out here. Leaving some blacks. Just like that, see? I can come back with the black later and put all this in, but get bits over and in front. And I want to use this brush because I feel it can just make some rocky bits there. And if you feel, oh, I want it a bit more, I'm just picking up a bit more, a different value of that, a lighter value, just to see, yeah, get it in there like that. That's where the water's dampened it. But anyway, that's just the out there bit. I want to get this bit done now. So I've picked up my dark colour again. Now I want to just put rocks, sink stuff back with the shape of my rocks, just like that. See? Bang. Sinking it back. So we've blocked it in, we've done that area there, and now we're sinking that back with the fall area of that object. Okay, and when it's done, you will see what I mean. So I want all this chippity chappity blocky looking. Some of it can be level but blocky down the bottom as well. And this is just pushing back all that lawn there. That'll do. Now getting the other lighter value that we mixed the grey with. Now we haven't dried that. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. We want to distinguish the light and dark values of all our boulders out there. So try not to think, just do them. Where are we? I want the bottoms very dark and the tops quite hitting with the light. Is that looking all right? Yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. Put things in front of each other, behind. Maybe you can even use a thick round brush for something like this as well, just so you're getting that kind of a rock shape there, light and darker values of it. I haven't dried it like I said, but it probably could have been better if it was dry, but I'm not fussed. Just want, they're just those dark rocks. And then just pick up the lighter value of that again. You've added more grey with it and get bits, and I want to do a bit then look in my monitor just to see if it's separating the values. Yeah, that's it. That's beautiful. So I'm kind of creating now the top of the rock with this flat and dribbling down some. This is creating the actual shape of the rock. There's a big blob of wet paint there. I don't want to smear that. I feel like I'm an artist when I do a good job, and when I do a crap job, oh well, I'm just trying my best. But see how they're looking like rocks now? We've put there, yeah, you're in front, rounding it out. You can practice so many types of rocks. So we've, oh, that's a bit hard. I can't get that because that's all wet. I'm going to have to dry it. Okay, just to finish it off, titanium white with a damp flat brush. And we want to keep some of these level, not too harsh out in the water. We want this hitting the rocks out there. I think they call these a moine or a groin or something like that. Now we can have bits of this water. Now, if that's too bright, I want to do a bit and look in my monitor. Yeah, I'd like to just dampen it down a bit with a bit of turquoise. So I'm just adding a little bit of turquoise into that. How's that? Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I want to just have the ocean kissing this groin. Yeah, just like that. Try not to do it too thick. And it sits it down. We'll have some water around this little islandy one there as well. How's that looking? That's looking good. Looking good. Now I'm going to wash that brush and leave it wet, like I've done in other videos. Not too wet, but I've just washed it and wiped it. Now see that paint we've just put on? Let's see if we can film it, just so it's not so loud. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I hope it does. Yeah, so you got to do a bit, wipe the build up off your brush, come from here. This will be a good seascape subject on a panoramic board, if you've got a panoramic board. I deliberately picked this subject for the MDF because they make for good paintings of high cost. Ones that you can do, I want to do a lot of detail ones of these and be able to earn a decent dollar from them if I can. But there we go. Just put my autograph on here, and while I do this, I want you to have a look in the links in the description below. All my art is for sale. You can ask me on my Facebook page, message me. And there's a few other links there that you can join my art group. See just how many videos I have in my catalogue. There's my videos there. Alright, now let's put a frame on this. Hang on, I'll just get Steve's footprint looking a bit better than that. And you will see the difference of frame makes, especially on seascapes with a white inserted border on them. So there we go, we'll bring that over there. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? That ain't too shabby at all. You know, I might even detail this a bit more when I'm in the mood, you know, like put a couple of palm trees in here. There's just so much more you can do and mix them up with, okay? It's not too shabby. It's got a lot of good values there for a beginner to learn, all right? I had fun doing this, and I hope you will too as you join along and paint along with this video, okay? Tell your friends if you like what you saw today, but if you don't like what you saw, you tell everybody, okay? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya!